20 losses in the league for Spurs this season. That's the most losses they've had, Gabby, in over 100 years. Now, joining us, we'll talk about more of this, is talkSPORT Sunday edition host Henry Winter. Henry, a very good Monday morning to you.
Good morning, Henry.
Morning, Ali. Morning, Gabby. A performance like that left everyone speechless with Spurs at the weekend, It was completely understandable.
Henry, I mean, can you believe that at this moment in time, we're going to have a Europa League final involving two sides who at this moment in time have lost 37 league games between them?
And they are 16th and 17th in the Premier League. It is extraordinary. Wow. Famous clubs, Manchester United and Tottenham, founders of the Premier League. It's extraordinary. And that game in Bilbao, the Europa League final, is effectively a playoff for the Champions League. And you've rightly been talking this morning about the sort of battle at the top end of the table. But you could get a team who's finished one place above the relegation zone going into the Champions League next season.
I think as well, Henry, you could have a situation where, for instance, Spurs' last two games, Villa away, Brighton at home, there's a good chance that Spurs lose 22 games and don't reach 40 points and then play Champions League football.
Gabby, it could be good news for Villa because they're bound to rest players.
I mean, I'm not complaining, Henry.
No, I'm sure you're not. But I mean, you look to, but you want teams to be strong. And I know they've got 25-man squads, and there is technically no such thing as a weakened team in Premier League or FAIs. But it is. You can understand why Forest might be getting a little bit hot under the collar when they see some of the teams that might be playing against the Europa League finalists or playing for them. So. Yeah, but Spurs, it's just, I mean, by the end, I would say the ground was half full at most. I mean, the Palace fans were fantastic. I mean, 3,000 of them. I mean, heaven knows what noise they're going to make with 30,000 at Wembley. They were brilliant. But the frustration, as you say, 20 league defeats for Spurs this season is unacceptable.
By the way, Henry, we'll go back to Spurs in a minute. But I would suggest, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it, I would suggest that Crystal Palace are certainly not without a chance of winning this cup.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at Oliver Glasner. I quite like the way he picked his team because they've obviously got, the cup final in, 5-6 days?
Yeah.
And he went strong. Obviously, Spurs had the mitigation of their, they come back from sort of Bodo in midweek, so they were bound to sort of rest some of the players. But he absolutely went strong. I mean, I think apart from Adam Wharton, who they say is 90% likely to play at Wembley, that was pretty much their full strength team, and they look good. And Eze, spent all 90 minutes on the pitch, and what a season he's having. But look, you guys played. You probably like the momentum. You'd much rather play than train.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You'd rather play, but I just don't understand Spurs, how after every game now it's the same sort of interview from Andy. He's not looking at the reporter whenever he loses, doesn't look at the reporter, looks at the floor. How can you concede 23 shots at home in the Premier League? I just don't understand it, Henry. Like, you can make changes, you can rotate, but you've got a squad of players for a reason. For the ones you rotate to turn up.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's had injuries this season, but other managers have had them. You look at Bournemouth and Iraola, he doesn't complain, he just sort of gets on with it. So, yeah, he's running out of sympathy. I mean, talking to Spurs fans, it is Bilbao or bust, and you would get the extraordinary situation that he might win.
Yeah,
Spurs' first trophy since 2008, get them back in the Champions League, and yet still have to walk away from the club because of the domestic form has just been so unacceptable. I mean, they very rarely win. They've got probably the best football stadium in the world. You could say the Bernabeu, revamped, Allianz, places like that. It's a magnificent stadium. The facilities, viewing, everything about it is good. Apart from actually what they're actually getting to view, which is unacceptable, the football, and he may well pay the price for that.
Henry, what about the team itself? Obviously bad news during the week regarding Maddison, and I did notice, I didn't see the game yesterday, but Kulusevski injured, went off, come back on and went off again. I mean, it's clearly not that, and they haven't had their troubles to seek in terms of injuries, but Kulusevski, I would suggest, would be a big miss. Hopefully not too bad for him.
I mean, he needed the game, so I can understand Ange actually starting him. There were a few sort of raised eyebrows when he played him because he's such an important player for them. But he's been injured recently. He needed the minutes in the legs. I mean, it was a hard but fair challenge for Mark Gay, who had another good game, and he took a knock to the knee. But Ange was saying afterwards that he expected him to be okay because he's an important player. You know, they've lost Bergvall, they've lost Maddison. I mean, your heart goes out to Maddison. You know, he just gets injured at difficult times, and they are better, more creative team when they've got him in, particularly for a player like Solanke up front and the passes that Maddison can play through the lines.
Henry, I heard you debate with Danny Mills. I know Danny Mills quite well, and his idea of entertainment is probably repeating watching of the Antiques Roadshow or the news. So I agree with you, Henry. Football should be entertainment, not just about winning.
Yeah, I think Danny was having a bit of fun. I just thought the fact that he was at Newcastle United covering the game and covering it brilliantly, as he always does. But, you know, Danny, I mean, his idea of entertainment is to sort of run from Yorkshire to London and back up and down the A1. And he's got competitive kids. He's a competitive character. I mean, Danny, his career, you know, and I was fortunate to cover all his England career. He absolutely got everything out of it, and he's still very proud. He's got an England armband somewhere because I think everyone had it in the game against Australia. But probably he probably goes sort of running across the Pennines with it. So it was just look, the game. I'm looking at it slightly from a fan's perspective. Absolutely, you guys are professionals. Danny's professional. It is about winning, but it's also about entertaining, and I think you can do both. You can do both.
Agreed.
Absolutely, Henry. Listen, before I let you go, I was at St James's myself yesterday. I thought Newcastle deserved it, although Chelsea played a little bit better second half, but they were toothless in forward areas. How you seeing the top 5 race, mate?
Well, I think Newcastle have got the momentum. They've got the manager. They've got the players. There's something about them. Absolutely. I mean, this is slight heart over head, but I would love to see Nottingham Forest get in there. I know they've slipped out of the equation. I know they've had the injuries, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Murillo and players like that. I just think that what Nuno has done and the way he handled the sort of slightly unexpected pitch invasion from his owner yesterday, I just think that he's got a bit of class about him. And, you know, they do try to entertain. When you've got a player like Morgan Gibbs-White, you know, Forest get a bit of criticism for their direct football, but Morgan Gibbs-White, the talent they've got out wide, Hudson-Odoi when he's fit, Elanga when he's fit, I would love to see Forest back in the back in the European Cup again.
Yeah, rather than a team, Ali, like your Chelsea that go and spend £1 billion, I'd rather Forest any day of the week.
And don't have a centre forward. Henry, thanks for your time, mate. Have a great week.
Take care, guys.
See you soon. You can catch Henry alongside Sean Custis on the Sunday edition. That's every Sunday morning, of course, right here in talkSPORT. And up next, we'll continue to take your calls on the Trent booing situation. Situation's a far better word, and we'll hear from several fans who are proud of their fans that booed. 03717 22 3344. That's the number to call. Hear that? We'll have more on that next.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.